Hey there, I'm Eric with Blackstorm Design and Marketing. Are you a roofing contractor that has some concerns or questions about SEO, if it's right for your business or not, and if you should actually invest in the time and effort it takes to accomplish SEO the right way in the year 2020? If so, I hope this guide is going to help you. I developed this guide to help answer and address your concerns. In this roofing guide, we're going to talk about what is roofing SEO and is it important to you, and how to do it in the year 2020. What's actually working right now, and not what has worked years ago or in the past, but what is working right now in the year 2020 and what will work in the near future in SEO. So without further ado, let's hop over to my computer and get started in this ultimate guide to roofing SEO.
I'm over at my desk and we can go over this presentation, the ultimate roofing SEO plan for 2020. The very first thing that we are going to cover is will SEO still matter? Basically, in the future, a lot of people's noticed how Google's landscape has changed. Really, just the past couple years, it's changed quite drastically. Last year, at some point, they started introducing the local service ads, where it's, that Google guarantee section. So people are seeing that. They're also seeing, advertising in the Google Maps. So they're wondering, is SEO really going to matter if a lot of the landscape is taken up by ads? And I say, yes, even more so. I believe that Google is trying to make up for their lost revenue. And I'm going to say, not that Google's losing money by any means, but I'm guessing that the younger generation is taking up more of the Google searches, and they're more tech savvy and they know what an ad is, and they usually like to avoid clicking on ads because they know that ads are not earned, right? They're just paid for. So they usually like to click on the organic listings. So 71% of all the clicks on the Google search results page, 71% still go to the organic listings. So that means the rest of that percentage is being taken up by all the Google pay per click ads and also the Google lead ads. So all that is sharing a small percentage compared to all the organic listings. So 65% of all clicks go to the first 5 organic listings in the organic or in the Google search results page. So what is roofing SEO and why is it important? Well, roofing stands for search engine optimization. That means basically trying to have better rankings in the Google search results page, whether it's your website or a listing that you have on another website. That is just trying to rank it better because the higher rankings it's proven it gets more volume of clicks. And why is that important? Well, it's important because one thing I like to talk about is push-pull marketing. You can push your advertisement or your company in front of other people that aren't searching. So that's, let's say TV, radio, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. I mean, anything that you're running ads that someone wasn't searching for your type of service, to me, that's pushing your advertising in front of them, right? So one thing SEO is pull advertising or pull marketing. And that's where someone is actively searching for your type of service, and you're just pulling them into your company versus the competition. So that's why roofing SEO is important because you're getting actively hot leads who have a problem and are searching for a solution. And that's why I believe SEO is more important than most other advertising altogether. So because you get hot leads versus cold leads. So let's move on. What are the biggest changes right now in SEO? One, you need to have detailed, well-written content. Google, there's all kinds of grammar software out there, and I believe that Google probably has smarter software than even, let's say like Grammarly, other softwares out there. So they know if your website is well written or not. And I believe that they're going to grant well-written websites that have well-written content higher than obviously one that isn't well-written and has all kinds of grammar and spelling mistakes. So if all else being equal, and there's one that is poorly written versus one being well-written, I believe Google will rank the well-written one above the poorly written one. Obviously, the low quality and spammy links, this used to win back years ago. I remember about, probably 10, 15 years ago now, I had kind of like a dating affiliate website, and one of my buddies said, "Hey man, I know I can get you 1 million links to your site." And I was like, "Heck yeah." So I paid him a couple $100. He got me 1 million links, and sure enough, I was ranking number 1 for whatever keyword I was trying to target back then. But that went away long ago. That is not the case now. If you do 1 million backlinks to your site, most likely you'll never see that site rank in Google again. Next thing is you need to have a real physical office in your location or service area if you really want to rank well on the maps and also your website. That's having an actual location proves to Google that you're a real legit company and not just someone who threw up a website trying to gain a bunch of leads. So having that helps definitely. Skipping a few slides. What are some ranking factors right now? Click-through rate. So Google's placing a lot more emphasis on seeing what sites are getting the clicks in the search engine results page. So this is where you want to make sure that your titles and meta description are not just written for SEO, but for stealing the click from the competition. Next thing is the scroll rate and time on page. So if your bounce rate is high, and a bounce rate is, I think we're going to cover it later in this presentation, but just to cover it real quick, if let's say you were going to a home improvement store, but you walked into a jewelry store instead, you would pretty quickly turn around and leave, right? So we would call that basically a bounce rate. So if someone was expecting a certain kind of website, they land on your website, it was completely not what they expected, they hit the back button and get out of there as quick as they basically came in. That is a high bounce rate. And Google's measuring that. They're seeing who stays on, who has the site that when a viewer lands on that site, stays on there, longer than the others. They know then, okay, that site is more relevant to these search queries, so we're going to rank this site higher than the others. Bounce rate is the very next thing. So those both have a crucial, they're interchangeable there. Google loves branding, so they like seeing your brand mentioned all across the web. So when you have backlinks and other sites linking to you, having the brand name in it is, they love that. Something else is having, very next, number 5, having your citations and relevant links if you have a lot of citations with your brand name in it, they love that as well. The branding aspect is that, you're investing in this company and you're not just a fly-by-night website. So Google wants to know that you're a real company, and the branding aspect helps with that. So they want to know that you're a real brand, that you're going to stick around and not just be a flash up website. The very next thing, let's talk about the most important keywords based on your service area and your niche. The awareness keywords, you want to capture those. And let's see here. Let me find my notes here. So these are the type of people that are looking for, like, what's the cost of something? What all is involved in the service that they are interested in. These are those types of people. So, like, you would want to, maybe have content on what's the cost of a roof replacement, and you could capture those people who are just in the awareness stage. Research and comparison. These are the people that are looking for, these people are just about ready to buy, right? They're comparing their options. They know that they have a problem. They're comparing different companies, side by side, seeing which one's going to be the best choice. So these are people like choosing, the best reviews, best company near me. They are reading your reviews. They're comparing them side by side. They're looking at your USPs on your website, seeing what one offers, what one doesn't. If one offers a warranty on their site and the other one doesn't, then that's what these people are looking for. And the buying intent keywords are just simply going straight for the punch. These are people just searching for, city plus roofing, right? Whatever city you're in, I'm near Nashville, so it'd be like Nashville roofing. And basically, they're clicking on the very first websites that rank for that. If they know that they just need a roof repair, then they're searching just for simply like Nashville roof repair and going straight to the top ranking ones. If they know they need to replace the roof, it would be re-roofing or roof replacement type keywords, and so you want to rank for those. How can you find these keywords? One, Google does a good job just by entering some keywords. They give you auto suggestions, so they come up with these by people already Googling these types of keywords. So they're trying to predict what you're wanting, and they show you, what people have been searching for in the past. You can also use the Google keyword tool that's in the Google Ads Manager. One, I think we're getting ready to get into it, but a really good way is actually running some PPC ads through Google Search Ads, and you'll see exactly what people are typing in, and of course you have to pay for those clicks, but it works really good at research, and you find out if people are searching a certain type of way in Google or in the location you're around. So like if there's little communities around you, you get to discover those little communities by the way people search. There's also tools like SpyFu and SEMrush that you can also use. Let's go to the next slide. So here's some keywords that you can kind of keyword formulas you can use. We kind of went over some of them already. Your city plus roofing services, your city plus roofers, roofing contractors, companies, roofing replacement, roofing repair. These are good words to throw in on your pages. Affordable, experienced, warranties. I mentioned how in the comparison stage that they'll be looking for, warranties and, experienced. They're wanting to see who's the most experienced. In the comparison stage also, they'll probably want to see who's affordable, So those are nice to throw in your website so you do rank for it. All right, so moving on. You want to make sure your website is mobile friendly, and Google has this mobile friendly speed test tool. You can throw it in there and Google will spit out a grade on, telling you how good your website is for mobile. We're going to get into actually roofing SEO. There's two sides of SEO. There's on page and off page. And I don't know why I have on site, but I mean, on page is on site. So we're going to talk about this is what you can actually do on your own website. So this one you can control fully, and it's in your full control on the on-page optimization. Man, that's touchy. All right, so you want to build a good roofing website with good content. We talked about that earlier. You want to have well-written content. I do have a subscription to Grammarly, so just about everything I publish, including like emails I send out, I run through Grammarly. It helps drastically. It shows you any kind of grammar mistakes. It even helps you sometimes reword a whole sentence and just let the whole content flow. So I would suggest something like that to help you with the good content on your website. Next thing is you need to actually have pages for each one of your services. So if you offer, emergency roofing, I would suggest you actually have a page on the city you're in and emergency roofing and have, content. I like to do 1,000 words, per page of, website content. You can do anywhere from, 500 to 1,000. Let's see. If obviously you would want a page like roof repair, you would want a page on that, roof replacement. So each one of these has its own page that is fighting hard to rank in the Google search results for when someone searches Nashville roof repair. I have a page that is targeted saying we offer Nashville roof repair services, in the Nashville, Tennessee area, yada, yada, yada. You have 1,000 words of content just about that. So that would help you rank for those types of searches. Use your main keyword in the titles, H1s and H2s. And you also want to have it early in the like your first paragraph. You would like to have, Nashville roof repair in probably the first paragraph. You want to have different variations of that in all your headlines throughout the page. Reasons why to choose us for roof repair in Nashville, Tennessee. Things like that. You would have different variations in your headings. Obviously, your page title, that's probably the most important aspect of your page. So you want to make sure, you have the main keyword that you're trying to rank for in the title and also throughout the rest of the headlines. The meta description, we mentioned this earlier. They've proven it has very, very little to almost no ranking factors in the meta description. But the way that it can help you is actually that click-through rate. So if let's say you're ranked 5 on the search engine results page, but more people click on your listing than they do the number 3 site, then Google's probably going to rank you above that number 3 site simply because more people are clicking on your site than they are the other site. So this is how you can still rank and also steal the clicks even if you're not outranking a website. But eventually, you will probably outrank that website that's listed above you simply because your meta description entices people to click on your listing versus theirs. We want to also have a consistent name, address, and phone number throughout the entire web, but we also like to throw it into the footer of the site. So the footer of the site usually lands on every page of your website. So that keeps consistent information throughout your website. Next, we want to make sure we're blogging on a consistent basis. What this does is it lets Google know that, hey, our website is fresh, our information's relevant, we're staying up to date, we're providing information, and before you know it, like if it also beefs up your website on the topic relevance. So let's say all else being equal, we have two sites. One site is, let's say, 10 pages or posts deep talking about roofing, right? Let's say we have another one. Remember, all else being equal except for the page numbers and the content amount. And we have another site that has 100 pages or blog posts on it. Which one do you think Google's going to think is more relevant to roofing when they go to rank you for roofing keywords? Well, obviously the one that has more content. And this also helps with your internal linking. So each one of your services, they get links from these blog posts pointing back to the services you're offering. So you want to make sure you're blogging on an ongoing and consistent basis. All right, next we're going to get into the off page and talk about what's not on the site and point the ranking factors there. So we want to make sure you claim and optimize your Google business listing. This you want to optimize, and this is where you also have to have the address. They're going to verify that. They've gotten a lot stricter really in the past year, more than they ever have before, because last year they were all in the news about having fake listings and millions of them. So they really cracked down hard on trying to, they sent a lot of businesses to re-verify to make sure that they are real businesses. And so creating and verifying your listing now is going to be more tedious than ever before. Next, we want to make sure we have high quality business citations. Citations is essentially creating a listing on different business directories across the web. So let's say Yelp is a business directory. That's a really good example. So you want to make sure we mentioned before you want to have a consistent name, address, phone number, basically all your information being the same across the internet. That adds a lot of trust in Google towards your brand. And we talked about brand. So they want to make sure you're using the same branding. You're not, throwing up a business, 1 year and then you basically get sued a bunch and you change your business name and your phone number, your website, all that changes, or that's what Google's trying to eliminate and give their users the best businesses possible, and that's how you gain trust. Google's going to have a lot more trust with someone who's had the same information, business name, phone number, address, for 10 or 15 years than they will someone who's just popped up the past 6 months or 1 or 2 years, right? So we want to make sure, we do at Black Storm, in the first 2 months, we build about 1,500 citations with all the same information across the web. This builds a lot of trust and authority with Google right from the start with our clients. That's what we do. There's certain citation builders that you can use that we don't really use anymore, like Yext. The problem that I don't like with Yext is they're very high salesy. They lock you in a contract. And if you ever quit them, all the citations that they built for you, they pretty much strip right as soon as you leave. You won't usually have those citations a couple months after you leave them. So we've we've pulled away from Yext, and we're using some other services. Use the best in class, leveraging tools to build up on online reviews. So one thing you want to do is be collecting reviews on an ongoing basis. One thing I've been known for is having a review funnel. So what I like to do is I had some software in the past that a lot of marketers bought from me before. Is we have it essentially is asking them to rate their overall experience. They rate it anywhere from 1 star to 5 stars, and there's half-star increments in there. And if they rated like 3 stars or below, we sent them to a survey, basically a detailed form. They fill it out. They express all their frustrations with the company, and that form then gets submitted directly to the business owner. They're able to address those problems. It's good for the client because they get to vent and tell all the little details that they didn't like about their experience. It helps the business owner because they get all the details as well. And it also helps them by not that bad experience not going public, right? They keep it in-house. It gets emailed. So it's pretty private. But if the client, rated, 4 stars or above, what that then did was redirected them to a page that said, "We're glad you had a good experience. Would you mind taking a minute or two to leave us a raving review on the following sites?" And then we'd leave, Google, Yelp, Facebook, different directory sites for them to leave reviews on. So then that was able to, you were able to ask everyone to rate their overall experience without risking a lot of negative feedback or backlash. You were able to kind of like filter the reviews and only get, the good reviews versus a lot of the bad. Usually, the bad, people, I think it was 10% of all reviews are basically good reviews. So most people only like to leave a review when they're upset about something. So this kind of helps combat that, those statistics for you. Next, build authority and relevant links back to your website. So this also, building blog posts and having good information on your blog post, talking about a lot of different various topics related to your niche, helps generate these backlinks. You can also be in communication with local website owners, other roofing businesses, any other small local businesses that have websites that they could link back to you. This is where that helps as well. Let's move on. So a quick recap of local roofing SEO. Get reviews from all around the web. So you want to try to get reviews not just from one place, So some people like Facebook. So if they got all their reviews just on Facebook, what about the people that are doing a Google search and they look on the Google map listing and they're looking and comparing reviews there? So you want to have reviews obviously in the Google Maps. Let's say people are doing their comparative research and they're comparing local, roofing companies in the area, but the consumer likes to look at Facebook reviews. So if you don't have any Facebook reviews, but your competitors do, well, then you're probably at a loss and a disadvantage to your competition. Let's say, a lot of people like using Yelp because they think Yelp has the highest quality of reviews because Yelp does a very stringent job on filtering reviews. So some people just lay their trust in Yelp. And, we could go on and on with all kinds of different business directories, but those are about the 3 top ones that you would want to focus on and try to drive reviews equally across those. Next is building the citations and keeping the consistency straight. So that again is your name, address, and phone number. Those are the primary ones. Obviously, your website, some other information about your business. You want to just make sure you're keeping it straight and consistent across the web. You want to have relevant and consistent blog posting. So you want to keep up to date on any new information in your niche, and keep blogging on a usual basis. You never know when you publish a certain blog that just basically goes viral and people just link to it and say, hey, and they're referencing your blog for, an authority. So if you're blogging on your niche, let's say a news reporter is got some kind of story relevant to that, and they're able to link to you in their news story. Well, sometimes those news stories go viral, and that link gets passed along because it's a source to the credibility to that news article. So you want to make sure you're blogging on a consistent basis. That helps with this next point, building links and authority. Next, we want to leverage the paid search ads to identify the high converting keywords. I mentioned this earlier. There's been a lot of times that we've discovered keywords that were being used, or kind of a direction that people are searching in that we would have never found before doing our normal keyword research, that the only way we found it was actually paying for the ads in Google search. So you want to make sure you are doing that. I want to offer you a 30-minute free strategy session, complimentary. What this is if you apply for it, one of my team members will take your information and do some competitive research for you and kind of show you where you stand against your local competition. In this strategy session, it is not just a sales call. It is literally, they're doing so much homework on the front end of this that they are presenting in the strategy session to really give you an advantage and a competitive edge against your local competition. So many people have found this so valuable that they just see the work that we did on the front end for something totally free and complimentary, that, people just become clients of ours through that, just for the goodwill that we put forth on that. So if you're interested in that, just go to roofingmarketing.com/start, and it will bring you to the right application page. And that is about all I've got for you today. So I want you to have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.